Good afternoon, grade 7. For this afternoon, we are going to discuss Quarter 3, Module 2, Graphing Motion. Objectives: create and interpret visual representation of motion of object such as tape charts and motion graphs. At the end of this module, you should be able to 1. Describe the motion of an object in terms of distance or displacement, speed or velocity, and acceleration. 2. Create and interpret motion graph. And 3. Apply the knowledge about motion in our daily life. What I know? Choose the letter of the best answer. Write the letter of your choice on your answer sheet. See pages 2 to 3 of Quarter 3, Module 2. What is it? Motion is everywhere. We can see movements every day, such as trees sway, water flows, dogs run, birds fly, people walk, and children play. Motion is defined as change in position with respect to a reference point. For example, you are inside a moving jeepney. You see a different view outside. You can say that you are moving. If the reference point is the view outside, you are moving. But if the reference point is the jeepney, you are not moving. Motion can be described in different ways. We can describe motion by using visuals such as diagrams and graphs. We can also describe it by means of distance or displacement, speed, velocity, and acceleration. In using diagram, the position of the objects are described by their coordinates along the number line. So let's take a look at figure number 1. So here we have a number line. The number line are marked with numbers. At the center of the number line, we have 0. To the right of 0 are positive numbers, 5, 10, 15. And to the left of 0 are negative numbers, negative 5, negative 10, and negative 15. At top of the number line, we have objects. The first one is a dog. Another one is a tree. And then we have a house. So the first question that we need to answer, Q1, what is the position of the dog? So let's take a look again at our figure number 1. So the dog is located at negative 10 meters. So the negative sign here indicates the direction of the dog. So the dog is located to the left. Okay? So the answer for Q1, what is the position of the dog? The dog is located 10 meters to the left. So, hindi na natin isasama yung negative sign niya because the negative sign only indicates the direction of the object. Next, Q number 2, what is the position of the tree? So, here we have the tree, and the tree is located 5 meters. So, since the number is a positive sign, it means that the tree is located 5 meters to the right. Next, Q3. What is the position of the dog with respect to the house? So the dog is at negative 10 meters and then the house is at positive 15 meters. So to compute the position of the dog with respect to the house, we just count how far the dog is from the house. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So for Q3, the position of the dog with respect to the house is 25 meters. Next, Q4. What is the position of the tree with respect to the dog? So the dog, again, is located at negative 10 meters. The tree is at positive 5 meters. So we just compute how far the dog is from the tree. So we have 5, 10, 15. So the position of the tree with respect to the dog is 15 meters. Here is another example. In this diagram, the positions of the ball rolling are shown at equal intervals of time. You can use the diagram to describe the position of the ball at any given time. So here we have at 0 second, the ball is at 0 meter. At 5 seconds, it is at 5 meters. At 10 seconds, the ball is at 10 meters. In 15 seconds, it is at 15 meters. Q5, what is the initial position of the ball? So when we say initial, yun yung simula or start. So the ball's initial position is 0 meters. Next question, what is its final position? So the final position of the ball is 15 meters. Q6, what is the position of the ball at 10 seconds? So at 10 seconds, the ball is positioned at 10 meters. At what time is the position of the ball equal to 5 meters? So the answer for this is 5 seconds. Another way to describe the motion of the ball is by the use of motion graphs. Convert the diagram in figure 2 to graph by following the guide below. So, number 1, fill up table 1 using the data in figure 2. Note that the positions of the ball are shown every 5 seconds. So, yung diagram natin kanina, in figure number 2, we are going to convert that into table. So, here it is. Table 1, position of the ball versus time. So we have time in seconds. So the positions of the ball are shown every 5 seconds. So we have 0, 5, 10, and then 15. And then we also have the position of the ball in meters. And the position is at 0 seconds, 0 meters. At 5 seconds, 5 meters. At 10 seconds, 10 meters. At 15 seconds, 15 meters. Next, procedure number 2, plot the values in table 1 as points on the graph in figure 3. Note that time is plotted on the x-axis. So, yung time daw natin, ilalagay natin sa x-axis, while the position will be plotted on the y-axis. So, an example will be given in the next slide. And lastly, draw a straight diagonal line through the points in the graph. Okay, so we are going to plot the points in table number 1 in our graph. So we call this graph as a position time graph because position is plotted in one axis and time is plotted on another. So time is plotted in the x-axis or the horizontal line, and then your position is plotted in the y-axis. So time is in seconds and our x-axis is labeled with multiples of 5. So 5, 10, 15, and 20 seconds. And then our position is also labeled in multiples of 5. So 5 meters, 10 meters, and then 15 meters. And then we have the starting point of our graph, which is the 0 point. So the first thing to do is to look for 0 in the x-axis and look for 0 in the y-axis. So ito yun. So kung saan mag-meet, kung saan mag-intersect yung ating mga data, lalagyan lang natin siya ng graph. So at 0 second, the ball is at 0 meter. Next, sunod natin 5 seconds. So at 5 seconds, the ball is positioned at 5 meters. So kung saan magtagpo yung ating 5 seconds and 5 meters, lalagyan lang din po natin siya ng dot. Okay, so let's place a dot here. Next, we have at 10 seconds, the ball is positioned at 10 meters. So dito, lalagyan natin siya ng dot. And then, next, at 15 seconds, the ball is positioned at 15 meters. So, kung saan mag-intersect, kung saan magtagpo yung mga linya natin, lalagyan lang po natin siya ng dot. Okay? So, after this, we are going to connect all our dots with a straight diagonal line. Okay? Connect lang natin. So, what do you notice with our graph? So, ano mapapansin nyo dun sa line natin? So, di ba yung line natin goes up. So, ibig sabihin, this is a straight line graph. Tapos, as time increases, our position also increases. Kaya, kung mapapansin nyo rin, meron tayong makikitang pattern or sequence dito. So, alam na natin na at 20 seconds, what would be the position of the ball? So, at 20 seconds, the position of the ball would be 20 meters. So with the help of position time graphs, we are able to make a prediction kung ano ang mangyayari sa movement or sa motion ng object natin. So that's it about position time graph. So let's move to the next. So how far did the object travel? So there are actually two ways to answer this question. First is by getting the total length of the path traveled by the object. So in figure number 5, for example, the dog ran 10 meters to the east, then 5 meters to the south, and then another 10 meters to the east. So to get the total length of the path traveled by the dog, we are just going to add 10 meters plus 5 meters plus 15 meters. So the answer for this is 25 meters. Next, the other way is by measuring the distance between the initial and final position of the object. So, based again on figure number 5, the dog has traveled 5 meters to the south. So, bakit 5 meters to the south? Ang initial position ng dog ay dito. Yan. So, tingnan nyo itong pointer ko. And then, the final position of the dog is here. So, if we are going to measure the distance between the initial position and the final position, it would be equal to 5 meters to the south. Okay? So, in science, the first measurement gives the distance traveled by the object. So, yung 25 meters, we call that as distance. So, it is represented by broken lines. So, nasan yung distance natin? So, lahat ng mga broken lines na nakikita nyo, ang nire-represent po niyan ay distance. So, yan yung total path traveled by the dog. While the second measurement, yung sinabi natin na 5 meters to the south, ito, simula dito hanggang dito, we call that measurement as displacement. So, let us differentiate distance from displacement. So, distance refers to the length of the entire path that the object traveled. So, lahat ng mga dinaanan ng object natin, yun yung distance. Yung displacement naman ay shortest distance between the object's two position. So, yung two position na to, ang sinasabi dito ay yung tinatawag na point of origin, yung starting position, and its point of destination, yung pinaka final position niya, no matter what path it took to get to that destination. So, here are more illustrations showing the difference between distance traveled. So, distance, once again, is represented by broken lines. So, lahat ng mga broken lines dito ay distance, like this one. So, the ball traveled from here up to here. Sa letter B naman, the vehicle traveled starting from here, papunta dito. And then, sa letter C, the dog started traveling from this point up to this point. So, ang tawag natin doon sa mga broken lines na yun ay distance. Next, yun namang displacement is represented by a continuous line. So, yung linyang dire-diretso at hindi putol-putol. So, nasan yun? Ito po. Yan. Sa letter B, ito ang ating displacement. And sa letter C, ito po ang ating displacement. Okay? So, kung makikita nyo, mas mahaba ang distance kaysa sa displacement. Sa letter B at sa letter C. So, bakit? Kasi yung object natin ay paliko-liko. Hindi siya nag-move ng straight. Pero sa letter A, kung mapapansin nyo, ang ating distance at ang ating displacement ay equal lang, pareho. So, bakit? Kasi yung object natin, yung bola, nag-move in a straight line. Next, susunod. When a graph is plotted in terms of distance traveled by the object and the time it took to cover such distance, the graph can be called a distance time graph. So kapag ang nasa x-axis ay time at ang nasa y-axis ay distance, ang tawag daw sa graph na yun ay distance time graph. If the graph is plotted in terms of displacement and time, it is called a displacement time graph, just like in our example. So here we have, in figure number 7, an example of a displacement time graph. So in our x-axis, time is plotted. In the y-axis, displacement is plotted. So, ang ating time is in seconds and ang displacement naman natin is in meters. So, let's answer the guide question. What is the displacement of the object after 2 seconds? So, nasa ng 2 seconds? Ito. So, ano daw ang displacement ng object after 2 seconds? So, kung titingnan natin ang graph, after 2 seconds, the object's displacement is 2 meters. Yan. 2 meters ang kanyang displacement. Next, what is its displacement after 6 seconds? So, nasa ng 6 seconds? Ito. So, after 6 seconds, ang displacement natin ay nandito sa baba. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang displacement after 6 seconds ay 0 meters. Yan. Next, how will you describe the motion between 0 to 2 seconds? So, ano daw napansin nyo sa motion from 0 to 2 seconds? Tingnan nyo yung linya natin na to. So, kung mapapansin nyo yung linya natin ay pataas. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung ating displacement or yung ating motion ay increasing. Papataas ang displacement. Next, how about between 2 seconds and 4 seconds? Tingnan to. Ito yung 2 seconds, ito naman yung 4 seconds. Ano napansin nyo naman sa displacement? Meron ba nagbago? Tumaas ba? Bumaba ba? Or the same? So, sa 2 seconds to 4 seconds, ang displacement natin ay constant, hindi nagbago. Yan o, diretso lang siya. Next, letter C. How about the motion between 4 seconds and 6 seconds? So, ito yung 4 seconds natin, papuntang 6 seconds. Ang ating line ay pababa. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Ang ating displacement ay pababa rin. So, next. So, last time we discussed about speed. So, speed is defined as distance traveled divided by the time of travel. So, we can compute speed using the formula speed equals distance traveled divided by time of travel. In symbol, V equals D divided by T. So, yung V stands for speed, small letter D, distance traveled, and small letter T, time of travel. So, what are the units of speed? So, miles per hour, kilometers per hour, or meters per second. So, meron tayong example last time. If a runner registered a time of 20 seconds to cover the 100 meters distance, what is his speed? So, ang given natin, distance 100 meters, time 20 seconds, speed unknown. Ang formula natin ay speed equals distance divided by time. So, speed equals 100 meters divided by 20 seconds. Ang final answer natin, speed equals 5 meters per second. So, paano nakuha yung sagot na to? So, dinivide lang natin yung 100 sa 20. Tapos, yung unit natin ay meter per second. Next, a boat travels 24 kilometers in 2 hours. What is the average speed of the boat? So, ang given natin, distance, 24 kilometers, time, 2 hours, speed, unknown. So, ang formula natin ay speed equals distance divided by time. So, substitute lang, speed equals 24 kilometers divided by 2 hours. So, pag dinivide mo ang 24 by 2, the final answer will be speed equals 12 kilometers per hour. Next, we also discuss about velocity. So, velocity is defined as speed with direction. So, pag yung speed natin may kasama ng direction, we call that as velocity. And velocity equals displacement traveled divided by time of travel. In symbols, velocity is in small letter V, tapos may arrow sa taas to indicate na ito ay may kasamang direction, equals displacement travel divided by time of travel. So, ang units natin for velocity is the same with speed, but may kasama siyang direction. So, example natin, 40 kilometers per hour north, 50 kilometers per hour south, 60 kilometers per hour west, or 80 kilometers per hour east. So, pag may kasamang direction, ang ating speed, we call that quantity as velocity. So, next, acceleration. So acceleration is the change in speed or velocity for a time interval of 1 second. So when do we say that an object is accelerating? So number one, if an object does not change its position at a given time interval, then it is at rest or its speed is zero. Ibig sabihin, kapag ang isang object at rest or ang speed niya ay zero, hindi siya gumagalaw, nakastay lang siya sa isang lugar, ibig sabihin nun, the object is not accelerating, wala siyang acceleration. Number two, if an object covers equal distance at equal intervals of time, then it is moving at a constant speed. Pag ang speed daw ng object ay constant, ibig sabihin, equal ang distance, equal ang intervals of time, ibig sabihin nun, kahit na gumagalaw yung object natin, it is not accelerating. Kasi constant ang speed. There's no change. So, kailan lang natin masasabi na merong acceleration ng isang object? Kapag merong change, pag may pagbabago. So, let's take a look at 3. If an object covers varying distances at equal intervals of time, then it is moving with changing speed or velocity. Yan. So, pag nakita nyo yung word na merong word na change, changing, varying, ibig sabihin ng nag-iiba-iba yung speed, nag-iiba-iba yung velocity ng object, then the object is accelerating. So, meron lang acceleration ang isang object kapag merong change sa speed, merong change sa velocity or direction ng object. Okay? So, acceleration can be computed using the formula acceleration equals final velocity minus initial velocity divided by elapsed time. So, in symbols, acceleration is a small letter a, final velocity bf, initial velocity vi, elapsed time ay t. So, ito mga examples natin for acceleration. The bus travels with a velocity of 50 kilometers per hour north, then changes into 60 kilometers per hour north. The jeepney travels with a velocity of 40 kilometers per hour south, then changes into 40 kilometers per hour east. The tricycle travels with a velocity of 40 kilometers per hour north, then changes into 35 kilometers per hour north. Okay? So, sa number 1, nagkaroon ng change in speed. Sa pangalawa, nagkaroon ng change in direction. And then, sa pangatlo, nagkaroon ng change in speed. So, what's more? So, we are going to do the following activities. So, independent activity 1, try to look at our surrounding. We can see different moving objects. Observe them. So, directions, draw one moving object of your choice. You will be rated by your teacher according to the following criteria. Appearance of drawing, 5 points. Neatness of work, 5 points. Creativity, 5 points. For a total of 15 points. Next, independent assessment 1, describing motion using diagram. So, on direction, determine the position of the following objects based on the coordinates along the number line. So, ang first question, what is the position of the butterfly? So, ito yung butterfly. 2, what is the position of the flower? And 3, what is the position of the house? So, take note of the positive sign and the negative sign. So, a positive sign means to the right, and then a negative sign means to the left. Susunod, independent activity 2, describing motion through speed and velocity. So, complete the table by identifying the velocity of the given transportation. The first given velocity serves as an example for you. So, speed 30 kilometers per hour, direction north. So, pag pinagsama natin yan, ang velocity ng object natin is 30 kilometer per hour north. Okay, so ganun lang din ang gagawin nyo sa letter A hanggang letter E. So, pagsasamahin nyo lang yung speed and direction. Next, independent assessment 2. Answer the following questions based on your independent activity 2. So, titingnan nyo lang yung ginawa ninyong independent activity 2 para masugutan nyo to. So, 1. Which jeepneys are running with the same velocity? 2. Which jeepneys are running with the same speed? 3. Which jeepneys are running with the same direction? 4. Which jeepney is the fastest? And 5. Which jeepney is the slowest? Independent activity 3, constructing a graph. So study the table below. So we have position of soccer ball versus time. So time is in second. Position of the soccer ball is in meters. At 0 seconds, 0 meters. At 5 seconds, 5 meters. At 10 seconds, 10 meters. At 15 seconds, 15 meters. At 20 seconds, 20 meters. So you are going to construct a line graph using the given data in table number 1. So kagaya lang din to na pinakita ko sa inyo kanina na position time graph. So you are going to plot your data in our graph. So at 0 seconds, 0 meters. So plot. At 5 seconds, 5 meters. Yan. Next, at 10 seconds, 10 meters. Next one, at 15 seconds, 15 meters. And then at 20 seconds, 20 meters. Tapos, connect all the lines with a straight diagonal line. And then you need to answer the following questions based on your graph. 1. How does the line look like? Ano daw itsura ng linya? 2. What is the highest position of the soccer ball? 3. What is the lowest position of the soccer ball? 4. What is the time interval between each position? Ano daw yung pagitan nung bawat position ng soccer ball? Ano yung pagitan ng oras? And 5. What is the relationship between position of soccer ball and time? So, dito, sa number 5, habang papataas yung time, ano nangyayari sa position ng soccer ball? So, what I have learned, so read the paragraph carefully and identify the correct words that fit in the given sentences inside the box. Write your answer on the space provided. So, ang ating choices sa ating box ay motion, speed, time, acceleration, velocity, diagram, and then graph. And then you have this paragraph that you need to complete. Okay? So, next. What I can do, so direction, cut 3 objects that show motion from magazines. So, kung wala kayong magazine, kahit na old newspapers, o kaya kung meron kayong lumang libro na hindi nyo na ginagamit, or kung wala naman, pwede naman kumuha sa internet. Okay, paste them on a sheet of paper. 3. Describe the motion of the objects in terms of speed or velocity. And 4. Write the description below the object. So example, ang pinili niyong object ay basketball player who throws a ball. So yung ball natin, nag-show ng motion yon. So, i-rate kayo based on the following criteria. Accuracy of information, 5 points. Neatness of work, 5 points. Appropriateness of materials, 5 points for a total of 15 points. So, kailangan natin ng 3 objects that show motion. Next, assessment. Choose the correct word from the word bank to complete the following statements on page 11 of Quarter 3, Module 2. So, tingnan mabuti yung mga statements sa page 11 ng module and then piliin ang tamang sagot doon sa word bank. Next, additional activity. So, this will be your performance task number 3.2. So, activity 1, study the line graph below, then answer the questions that follow. So, meron tayong line graph. Sa x-axis, nakaplot ang mga runners, A, B, C, D. Tapos, dito sa y-axis, nakaplot naman ang average speed in meters per second. So, yung average speed natin is in multiples of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Tapos, yan. Si runner A, 8 meters per second. Runner B, 6 meters per second. Runner C, 4 meters per second. And si runner D, 2 meters per second. So, meron kayong sasagutan na question. Number 1, who is the fastest runner? 2, who is the slowest runner? 3, what is the average speed of runner B? 4, what is the average speed of runner C? And 5, what did you notice about the average speed of runners A, B, C, and D? So, next, activity 2, solve the following word problems. Show your solutions and answers on the box provided. So, number 1, if a jeepney travels 100 kilometers in 2 hours, so what is its average speed? So, para ma-solve nyo ito, ang gagawin nyo lang ay gagamitin nyo yung formula natin for speed. So, speed represented by a small letter d, is equal to distance divided by time. Yan. So, sa-substitute nyo lang yung ating given sa formula para masagutan nyo to. Okay? Tapos, sa distance, ayan na, 100 kilometers. Time natin ay 2 hours. Tapos, speed is unknown. Okay? 2. John ran around the campus at a distance of 200 meters in 2 seconds. What is his average speed? So, lagay nyo lang dito yung distance at yung time. And then, speed is unknown. Okay, so formula is the same. Speed is equals to distance divided by time. Tapos, sa-substitute nyo lang yung given at para makuha nyo yung solution and final answer. Okay, so in quarter 3, module 2, graphing motion, these are the things that you need on your answer sheet. What I know, what's more, so sasagutan ng independent activities 1, 2, 3, and independent assessments 1, 2, 3. What I have learned, what I can do, assessment, and then additional activities. So yung additional activities ang ating performance task number 3.2 sa quarter 3, module 2. Tapos, pagtapos na, paki-upload sa Google Drive folder in PDF format. So, ang path natin, Science 7, Quarter 3, Module 2. Tapos, pwede rin isend in JPEG format ang inyong answer sheet sa aking messenger kung hindi makapag-upload sa Google Drive folder. So, thank you for attending our Science 7 online class. God bless you all.